this video is part 2 for Entrelac for the Summer Stitch Sampler Knit Along week 12. We've already worked the base stitches, the base triangles across. So as you can see, there's a little bit of curl at the bottom of those and on the sides. And we worked these from right to left, just like we typically knit. And so for this tier that we're doing now, we're actually going to be working it from left to right. Okay. So we'll have a left triangle that fits here. We'll have some rectangles in the center. And then, oh, let me see if I can get my fingers to work the right way. There will be a right triangle that goes this way, so that the sides of what you are knitting are going to be straight when we're finished. Yes. Okay. So like I said, this row we're going to start with a left triangle, rectangles across, and then a right triangle at the end. So the left triangle is what you do for the first 10 stitches on the needle. So that's this 10 because we're working from this side to this side. So we're actually going to turn our work. Okay. And I am using off-white, which is not the color I'm supposed to be using, but I am all out of watermelon. I have a tiny bit left, but not enough to even get this section done. So that's kind of a disappointment because I do like the way those colors pop, but this will give you a chance to see what other combos look like that aren't such a large contrast, okay? So first thing we're gonna do, on the wrong side, we're gonna knit one. And remember, we're turning our work after every row, okay? So, whew, sorry, my cables got back there. So this gets a little awkward, especially on the first stitch. On this side, we're going to knit the front and the back of that stitch that we just knit. So, oof, knit both legs of it. Okay, and then we're going to turn again. Remember, lots of turning. Okay, for this one, we're going to knit one and then purl two together. And turn. Okay, for this one we're going to knit one and we're going to knit the front and the back of the stitch. Okay, so our goal when we finish this triangle is to have 10 stitches that we can use, right? So you will find that with this one, we're going to knit one, purl one, and then purl two together. So you will find that with this one there's increases and decreases, whereas before we were just doing increases. Okay. Now we're back to the right side. Knit one, knit another one, and knit front and back. Ooh, let me tighten that up a little. Okay, so remember I told you that there's sort of a formula to look for as you're working these. And so for this, the kind of formula that emerges is when you are on these rows, oops, you will knit one, and then you'll purl till you have one stitch left in the color you're working with, and then you'll purl two together. Okay, and then you'll turn, and on this side you knit till you get to the last stitch, and then you knit the front and the back of the last stitch. Okay. It looks kind of like a mess right now. Just give it a minute. It'll start to take shape. Ooh, all my tails getting tangled up in myself. Again, we're going to do front and back. Okay, and turn. Gets less fiddly after this triangle. Okay, pull those last two together, turn, knit them all the way down to the last one. Okay, just give it a little tug to even out the tension there. Whoop. What's last of the off-white in a little ball here, and it's going wherever it likes to go. Trying to work quickly, not so quickly that you can't see what I'm doing, but once you figure it out and you're confident, I don't want you to have to sit through too much video of me stitching along. Okay, so again, I knit all of those, and when I get to the end, I knit it into the front and back of the stitch. When I'm on the wrong side of the work, I'll knit the first stitch. I'll purl till I get the last one to the last one in the color I'm working with. Okay, and that's this guy. So that's how I know it's time to purl two together. I'm on row 14 right now, but it's pretty easy to keep track of when I have to end because I'm going to run out of stitches here, as you see on my needle. Yep, I purled my first stitch. Whoop, whoop. That's what I get for trying to work too fast. Okay, so remember I've got to knit in to the front and the back of the stitch. Let me take it all the way back. There we go. So what happens if you don't knit into the front and the back is you end up short one stitch over here. And make sure I got that in. The last one. So purl those two together. Knit front and back. My last turn of the section. So I am on row 19. I'll knit one, purl 8, and purl my last two together, and I am not going to turn after this step. Okay. So, give you a look at that. So it's a little hard to tell on circular needles, but we have just created a triangle. I think it's an isosceles triangle, or at least it will be by the time we're done, as these two sides will look pretty even. And it will be worked once. And next we're going to go to rectangles. That'll be in the next video.